Have you been using affirmations and visualizations in order to manifest a new reality, and there are still areas where you often feel stuck and do not succeed in attracting what you envision? Many people on the path of manifesting their dreams experience the same thing, because it is not what you visualize and affirm that turns into fact, but that which you constantly assume to be true. Imagination is the soil, attention is the water, but assumption of reality is the seed that turns into the fruit-bearing plant. When affirming and visualizing your wishes or dreams, if you keep them at the point of just a place you envision and aim to, while still being a you caught in a different or opposing reality, then your efforts will most likely be fruitless. Your vision must transform from just an image of a possible and distant future to an inwardly rooted assumption of reality. For that, you need to identify and change your limiting assumptions. Stay with me till the end of this video, and I will give you 7 important steps to change your assumptions and some guidance on how to take each one of them. So, how do we change our assumptions? The first step is identifying them, becoming aware of them. Some assumptions, though, are so deeply rooted in our subconscious that we might be totally unaware of them, although they silently drive our decisions, actions, and determine our outlook upon life. Self-awareness is very important here. If you are self-aware and are able to get still and sit with anything that arises within you, you might notice your assumptions getting activated and bubbling to the surface in certain moments of your life, both as thoughts or stories rolling in your mind and as sensations in the body. Once again, being aware of your true self helps at this point, as it allows you to distance yourself from the mental movements and sensations in your body and sit in the position of a detached observer, and thus being more aware of what is there. Also, your limiting assumptions may become obvious each time you try to manifest something and you sense that you have certain inner blocks that prevent you from doing so. In this case, you will notice that your inner limiting assumptions act as a sense of contraction in the body and resistance within. If you sit with the sense of resistance and inquire, what does it say to you? You will find the story that lies at its basis. It may be something such as, things are never easy in life, or I must work hard for money, or people don't understand and resonate with what I have to share to the world, or I am never really good enough, and so on. As I mentioned in the previous videos, more than our assumptions about life and others, what plays an essential role in what we attract is our assumption of ourselves. So sit quietly and get really still and honest while looking at yourself. No matter how aware you are of your divine identity, sit and look at who you see yourself as at a human level. Who is this me you have been playing as in this life? This is the costume you have been wearing, and if it is not in alignment with your deeper truth, you can change it. So, again, sit still and honestly identify how you have been seeing yourself. Have you subconsciously seen yourself as mediocre, or unpleasant, or misunderstood, or a martyr, or anything else that applies to your case? Identify the labels you have unconsciously placed upon yourself. Alright, now that you have sat still and got honest and you have identified the assumptions you wish to change about yourself and the world, you can get to the next step. The next step, the second step, is write down their opposite. For each limiting assumption you have found, write down their opposite, and write it in such a way that it is best resonating with you. Formulate it in a way that it does not trigger any contraction and resistance within, but it feels true, joyful, and brings you a sense of ease and an inner yes every time you utter it. The third step is reprogram your subconscious with the new desired assumptions. Your brain, or better said, the subconscious part of your mind, has been mainly programmed through repetition, not only of words, but especially of emotionally charged experiences. So, in order to reprogram it, we must use similar means, such as affirmations and visualization. But not just any affirmation. Use the things that you wrote down at step 2. Because an image is better than 1,000 words, as I said, what I recommend is to take the assumptions you wrote down at step 2 and think of an event that best reflects these assumptions as being actualized in your life, and visualize those events every night before sleep and every morning before opening your eyes. These are the 2 times of the day when your brain is more permeable. Every time you go to sleep, when you get relaxed and withdraw attention from the world, your brain goes from the beta waves to the alpha wave state. The alpha state is the threshold of your subconscious, while still allowing you to deliberately imagine. Thus, it is the best time to imprint your brain with imagined experiences that reflect your new desired assumptions. Especially if accompanied by the relative emotions, the information contained in the imagined events will be carried deeper into the delta state of your brain, where your subconscious storage is. Thus, through repeating this process, the new assumptions will be acknowledged as more actual than the old ones, and their replacement will take place. The fourth step is embody the new assumptions in the everyday life. How? By adopting the choices and behaviors which reflect them. As Neville said, be now the person that you desire to be. How do you do this? By approaching life from that perspective. One's mindset, assumption, and identity determines one's action, choices, and general behavior. But the other way around is also valid, meaning one's actions, choices, and behavior reinforce one's identity, mindset, and assumptions. For example, if one considers themselves to be an abundant person who easily attracts wealth and is always taken care of by life, then their behavior, attitude, and choices will reflect that. Thus, they most likely will not worry about money, they are likely to be generous, buy high-quality things, and never deprive themselves of the pleasures and joys of life. At the same time, if you choose to deliberately and consciously do these things, mentally and inwardly justifying them with the new embraced identity and assumptions, in time, these new behavioral patterns will reinforce the reality of that identity. I repeat, at the same time, if you choose to deliberately and consciously do these things, mentally and inwardly justifying them with the new embraced identity and assumptions, these new behavioral patterns will reinforce the reality of that identity. At the same time, this will rewire your brain, creating new neurological pathways, transforming your perception and actually neurologically creating a new you. And a new you equals a new reality. So sit and imagine, how would the one living your reality be like? How would they feel when they wake up in the morning? How would they dress like? How would they walk and talk? What would they eat? What things would they do on a daily or weekly basis? What would their attitude be when buying something, when meeting people, or when challenging situations arise? Write these down and start applying them practically every day. Catch yourself when you act or make choices still from the old identity that you wish to let go of, and change your trajectory both mentally and in terms of action. Be consistent and persevere in staying with the new assumptions, because there is often a delay in the manifestation due to the density of matter, and the cooperating components might need a bit of time to come together in the best way which serves the good of all. Step 5. Notice that you already are the one that you wish to be. Nobody has ever wished to be what they are not already at an inner level. If you get still and look within, you will see that you don't truly want to be something that you are not already. What you truly wish is actually for the manifested circumstances to show what you already feel yourself to be inside. I repeat, if you get still and look within, you will notice that you don't truly want to be something that you are not already. What you truly wish is actually for the manifested circumstances to show what you already feel yourself to be inside. What you yearn for is for your perfect self-expression to be actualized in the 3D reality. If you look within, you will see that you already are whole, valuable, free, abundant. So stop thinking in terms of becoming. Instead, think that the 3D reality has to catch up with who you are. And that is not your job. Your job is to be who you are and act and live accordingly. Embodying and expressing who you are regardless of what your perceived circumstances tell you. Don't mind what the senses tell you. Focus on who and what you know yourself to be inside. Step 6. Release the energy stuck in your system. No matter how clear you are about what you desire and who you are, there most likely are energetic blockages and resistances in your body and energetic field. These are residues of your past experiences that have been stored in your subconscious and in your energetic field. They are like hidden signatures of your old unconscious assumptions. You will notice them often when you try to visualize a different reality, and you will sense them like contractions inside or difficulties to believe what you envision. This is why a certain degree of work upon your body and energetic field is also important. Meditation, emotional release, movement such as exercising and dancing, and breath work are some of the tools that will work wonders in releasing the stuck energies in the system. I will leave a link in the description box to a channel of Quantum Flow which helped me greatly. I hope it will benefit you as well. Step 7. The last but very important thing is to act on your dreams. The inner work represents approximately 80% of the manifestation process, but it is not everything. You need to also, in action, take the steps towards it. Doing so is a way of informing your brain that you do consider your new assumptions to be truer than the past ones. Sometimes you may not be able to take big steps towards them. Be gentle with yourself, but keep yourself determined and consistent. Each tiny step you move closer to it represents a shift in direction towards the life you desire to live. And remember, there is no fixed universal recipe that works exactly the same for all. These are the main general guidelines, but the process is always alive and subjective, and each one must be sensitive to what they need to do at every step in their own specific scenario. For each being, the cocktail of assumptions and inner blocks is unique in terms of quantity, quality, and depth. So always be true to yourself and do what feels necessary for you. But look with honesty and openness and trust your inner wisdom. Thank you for staying with me till the end. And if you are ready to take these steps towards the new you, write a big yes in the comments, like, share, and subscribe, and I see you in the next video of our series, Manifesting as the Self. Much love.